Hey, it's April from the Noble Garden. I take you guys around my garden all the time and show you what I'm doing growing, what I'm planting, how I'm treating, and taking care of the garden. But today I thought I would share with you guys what I do in the kitchen with my harvest. As you guys know, my harvest has been pretty extreme lately. And one of my things I had not announced is that I had a vision and I had a dream to start some type of business with my garden, and ended up being what I call produce baskets. And I will show you guys a picture of what I've been doing this week and last week, and that's I've been selling these baskets to anyone who wants them. So if you're local, hit me up. I do have a Facebook page and I'm trying to keep updated on what's going on. It's at Noble Garden 87. I want to show you guys my harvest that we're dealing with right now. So this is what's been picked this week, guys, and I'm about to start on some pickles. I make zucchini bread with the zucchini, and then I am now working on a batch of squash chips. And then these are my tomatoes. I do have some more, and I'm started on making a tomato salsa. I can make meatloaf tonight, and then I'm going to work on making some salsa. This is a little bit more harvest. This is from earlier today. One thing that I do is I soak cucumbers, peppers, and any type of beans in water. You really don't have to do it for too long. This has been in there for a while. It actually needs to be drained. I've done it overnight and it's fine too. But really like a 20 to 30 minute soak, and that's what keeps everything crispy. So I already do have some tomatoes roasting in the oven, and I like to roast them because the skin comes right off of them and I like the roasted taste. If you're interested in roasting your tomatoes for salsa, canning, anything like that, anything that needs their skin off, what I do is I put them in a casserole dish. I spray some olive oil on the bottom, and then I cook them for 20 minutes on 400 heat. And that's been working great for me. So the next thing I'm going to do, this squash is a little too big. I'm going to make some chips out of him. So I'm just going to show you guys quickly kind of what I do with that. And then we will move to the next thing. So the first thing you want to do, and I can cut them thinner. I actually have a chopper, but you want to cut them as thin as you can. And these are not super thin, so they're going to take longer to dry. And I'm just going to put this in a bowl. And you can pick whatever seasoning you would want. Some people would want just like salt and pepper. Some would want just salt. We have several different types of seasoning that we use. We have a seasoning that's called Goya that we use. I honestly like to just put some garlic on it. I've done that, and that's probably what I'm going to do with these. I really like them when they just have a touch of garlic. But just season them how you want to before you put them in your dehydrator. To be honest with you guys, I'm not quite sure how these chips are going to work out, because this reminds me of like a pumpkin kind of thing. I think I am going to spoon out this and just use the inside. So I'm not 100% sure because I'm used to making chips like this. So we will see what happens. So guys, when I chopped this up, it kind of ended up looking like this because I seeded it. I have no clue what this is going to do. I've never made the chips like this. I normally pick a younger one and I cut them up with my, I have a slicer. I can show you guys what I'm talking about in just a second. Let me show you. So I have a chopper. It has a bottom on the end of it, but I have a shredder on there that I use to make my zucchini bread, so I can shred zucchini. And the other end would be, see how it comes off, and this one is just to make the perfect circles for our chips. And that's actually usually what I do. Going a little rogue today. We'll see what happens. I will also add, guys, that this is the size they get to where they are over mature. And if you are interested in saving seeds, this is one you would save seeds. So I did pull some seeds from it to save. I'm gonna clean them and you let them dry. I will tell you, however, this was not closed pollinated. I didn't put a bag over it or anything special with it. So it is a possibility they pollinate it. So, and I have all kinds of squash and zucchini on that side along with cucumbers. So who knows what I'm going to get, but I always think it's an interesting thing to try. So I do want to try and plant these seeds and see what it gets. Let me show you a few of the seeds. So I didn't save a whole bunch of them, just a little bit. So I went ahead and put a little bit of garlic on this. And the next thing is I have a food hydrator that we've been using. You could buy them. They're all kinds of different types. This one does not have where you can adjust the heat. But we've noticed that squash chips take about 5 hours to 6 hours on this. Since these are thicker, they're probably going to take longer. But I literally just line them up, give them a little space. And this has 5 racks. And I'm going to fill up all 5 racks before I even get started.
Oh no.
So this is the food dehydrator that I have. I think I might have said that it was 4 tiers, guys, but it is, wait a minute. I think I told you guys it was 5, but I just discovered it's 4. But this is kind of how you do it. You can lay them really, really tight and close together. You just don't want them overlapping. It has a little lid like this. I just lay it over, and like I said, it has no timer on it. It has no temperature on it, so I'm just going to plug it in, and then I have to set a timer to let myself check them at 5 hours. The other thing that we're going to do today is make some pickles. So my husband's helping me out by cutting the pickles for me. They're going to go in a bowl. I have a recipe that I found offline. This is going to be the sweet, it's called bread and butter pickles that we're going to do. We've already made several batches of it. I'll show you. So this is what they look like in the end. They are very delicious. This recipe, like I said, I got offline. If you are willing, I can most definitely put it in the comment, or not the comments, but the description below. But you can see we have got several cans of them. We're going to go ahead and start on another one. One of the things that we've had a lot of trouble figuring out how to preserve is squash and zucchini, because we blanched it and froze it, didn't like it. We didn't blanch it and froze it, and we didn't like it. So we started pickling them, which we do like. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a bunch of the stir-fried mixture that we eat for dinner. And then I'm going to freeze that and see how that goes. But let me show you how squash and zucchini looks pickled. And this pickling that we did was the bread and butter as well. There you guys have it. Pickled zucchini and squash. So the next thing I'm going to work on, since he cut the cucumbers for me, I'm going to work on some salsa. And I weigh my tomatoes in a basket like this using a kitchen scale. So let me cut these up and wash them up, and then I'll show you how I roast them. So here are the tomatoes ready to go in. All I did was cut the tops off, halved them if they were smaller, quartered them if they were larger. You put them in the oven like this for 20 minutes on 400, and the skin will fall right off. So when the tomatoes come out of the oven, this is what they look like, and I'm going to peel a few for you just to show you how easy it is to peel. Of course, I did let these cool down. They're not hot at the moment, but the skin just peels right off, just like as if you were to boil them in hot water and sit them in ice. See? That's why I like doing it this way. I also think, personally, this might be just a personal thing, that the tomatoes just have a little better of a taste when they're roasted as well. But see how easy that skin came off? This allows me time to just throw these in the oven, let them cool down, and work on something else. It kind of helps with the multitasking skills that you need when trying to do multiple things on process day. Some don't peel as good as others. You just kind of got to find a spot to get some started, and then you can peel them. The biggest key is letting them cool down so you can touch them like this. So guys, I bought this hand blender. It has all kinds of different tools. I've been using just a normal processor, but after using this today, I really like it. So I'm going to show you guys right quick what it does. And that's all it is, guys. That's why I really have enjoyed this today. The next step I'm going to take you guys to, and this is the last bit of it, we've kind of done it already, but I have a strainer that strains the seeds and the pulp, the stuff I don't want, and let me show you what it turns it into. It turns it into this really beautiful seedless, pulpless tomato sauce. So, I just really like this. So I have this strainer. I'm just going to pour this in there like that. And then it takes a little bit of time, and you do have to move it around a little bit. But it will drain everything that I don't want in my sauce. So once it's pretty drained, it just turns it into this, which is the stuff that me and my husband don't want in ours. We don't want our seed and we don't want our pulp in it. So this is what works for us. Now, of course, you're probably looking at my sauce and you're like, that's just like a really light orange. And the reason why it's that color is because I use all types of tomatoes in my garden. I love the mixture of them. It tastes really good. So this is red, yellow, green, orange, pink, whatever tomatoes I had in the garden. I threw it all together. Let's go. There's my tomato sauce. So now I can make my salsa. Alright guys, so I did get the salsa made, and I'm going to pour them into these jars so that we can can some salsa. Had some left over, so we just put in a jar that we can eat later, let it cool down, but it did make really pretty salsa. So guys, this is the digital pressure canner that I bought that I can do water bath canning and pressure canning in. And when you guys watched me do my salsa, I did put my salsa in this one. However, I do want to show you a way that you can water bath if you don't have a canner like this. So for years now, I've only had this big container or a big pot, and it was just a pot that I bought that I used for other things that came in handy for canning. And as you can see, there's jars in here right now, and they're sterilizing for our pickles. The main thing is make sure you put something on the bottom that they can sit on, because you want something to space them so the cans don't cook and you accidentally fry your canning goods because you let it touch the bottom. And I want to show you something else. So here is the end product of the squash chips. You'll see they're really crispy. Very delicious. I'm going to do this a couple times a week, trying to get ourselves out of potato chips and do something like this instead. It's food that we grew. So guys, it's a few days later. I realized I didn't sign off on this video. I apologize. We have been canning every day since. So I'm going to show you some of the stuff that we've been canning. So here you see that we did some relish. This is some salsa. This is not the salsa you guys watched us mess with, but this is more salsa. These actually are the pickles that I was pickling the day that I started this video. There you guys have it. As you can see, we finished filling up this cabinet, and let's check the other cabinet out. It's almost there. If we put those cans that we just saw on the counter, it would be full as well. One thing I do want to show you guys is that yellow right there is tomato sauce. We took all our yellow and green tomatoes and made a sauce out of it. Thank you guys for coming along on my kitchen day. I hope that it inspired you, gave you some ideas. If you have plenty of stuff coming out of the garden and it's excess, figure out how to can it, figure out how to freeze it, figure out some way to store it for the future. I thank you guys for watching my videos, and remember, if you like them, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.